Twilight is a Zombie by Jumbled Thoughts, read by Deathlight. Rainbow blinked as she landed on the empty road. While Ponyville could be quiet, it was still in the middle of the day, so for no pony to be there.
Hi? Rainbow?
A pink, puffy mane came out of one of the nearby bushes. Before the whole row rose with a pony, Pinkie soon ran over, who was being silent as they moved very little with each step, but were a blur with how fast they moved.
What are you doing?
The blue Pegasus raised an eyebrow at her now 10-foot wide friend, or at least while she was in the costume.
Well, I was just running an errand for Twilight. Had to go pretty far for it even, and I was looking forward to...
She stopped talking as she felt Pinkie's hooves around her neck.
Pinkie, what are you?
Shh, it's okay, you brave mare. Just remember the good times, and the pain will be softer.
Rainbow turned her eyes to Pinkie, being a little creeped out at this point by the soft petting she was receiving. Only one mare was allowed to do something like that, and that was Twilight.
What are you talking about?
Pinkie pushed away slightly from Rainbow, though the brush she wore still brushed against the blue mare's chest.
Well, you see, while you were off on your errand, well...
Pinkie bit into her muzzle as she looked down to the ground and pinned her ears. One twitched though, and then sprang back up, and she turned to her side before her eyes opened wide.
Hit the building! Hit the what?
Before she could finish, Pinkie, as she seemed to be too keen to do today, cut her off by pulling the mare backwards. Both crashed into the building that Pinkie had been hiding against, and Rainbow found herself buried into one of the bushes. She looked at her now troubled friend, and saw that she held her hoof over her mouth. That wasn't gonna work though to keep her quiet. Not now at least.
Ouch! That hurt, you know?
Not as much as being eaten by your mare friend would!
What?
And when Pinkie pointed away at the brushes, it only got worse. Barely plodding along was Twilight. It was admittedly hard to tell, as she looked full-on Psycho Mane with how ratty it was. The Rainbow chuckled at the squirrel that was sleeping in it. Beneath that, there was low-hanging eyebrows that normally got Rainbow to shiver, but instead made the blue Pegasus chest throb with the huge bags hanging from underneath.
Wow, she looks like a mess!
Pinkie shook her head.
I wish she merely looked like that. If that were the case, a simple spa potty would have been the cure, instead of whatever rarity you may find within the Canterlot archives. If she doesn't find one, though, I'll have to take care of her myself.
Rainbow slowly turned to her friend, her jaw hanging at this point. Now, at this point, she was used to most of it. If Pinkie needed a seemingly random object, you gave it to her. If you needed something at the moment's notice, no questions asked, she was your go-to mare. Now though, she sounded like it was the end of the world, all because Twilight looked like shit.
What is wrong with you?
She turned on a dime at her friend, and a thump that could be heard as half the bushes attached to her swung backwards.
Can you not see?
She turned Rainbow's head towards Twilight as the unicorn slowly brought herself back up to her hooves, having been smacked across the street just a moment earlier.
Do you not see the red staining her muzzle, the 100-yard stare, or the moan that calls from beyond the grave? I even made this new stealth mode of 20 bushes tied together, so that if she ever figured out my disguise, she would more likely hit nothing than I.
Rainbow brought a hoof over her face and let out a long groan. The saddlebags on her sides, feeling heavier as she tried to comprehend what was going on.
First, I thought it was a little weird that there are bushes covering two different alleys. And secondly, do you really think Twilight is a...
Zombie.
Rainbow blinked a few times before slapping herself with her hoof again.
I would love this as a prank, seeing as it seems like you evacuated every pony with this.
I did.
But you're being way too serious about all of this for that to be the case, right?
Pinkie shook her head.
When it comes to my friends, I am only serious. Serious fun, serious parties, and serious zombie protection.
And what if I become a werewolf or something?
I would commence plan serious puppy snuggles.
Rainbow merely stared at her for what felt like an eternity. She knew what she had heard, no doubt about that, but whether she believed it or not.
You know what? I'm gonna go and help my mare friend come back to us.
Pinkie wanted to move forward, but had jeopardized her position though, as she now blocked half the road with her costume as Rainbow left the bushes. But she still did yell,
Rainbow, don't do it!
to which Rainbow merely rolled her eyes. Coming over to Twilight, she was greeted with a familiar groan and grinned at her nerd.
Come on. No pony but Pinkie is around, so feel free to use your blue pillow.
She brushed out at saying the stupid, tired nickname, but did get Twilight to start walking towards her. The Pegasus could hear Pinkie screaming in the background, but ignored it as her tail swished behind her. She forgot how cute her sleepy princess could be. Twilight surged forward at the last second, and Pinkie's eyes widened in horror as she watched Rainbow fall to the ground with her. She rushed over almost in a second, but stopped as she heard Rainbow whispering to Twilight.
There we go. Snug in and get some rest. And hey, remind me next time not to let you research alone. You always forget to get some sleep.
Pinkie blinked a few times as she looked between the two.
Rainbow, she isn't eating you. Why?
Rainbow rolled her eyes, the blush on her cheeks getting worse as her head was pulled back slightly by Twilight munching on her mane.
Because she's tired. I needed to go get her some stupid plant for her experiment. And I was supposed to be back after a day, but the weather was bad and I took a few more to get here. This dummy.
She said as she batted Twilight on the head.
Never looked at a clock while I was gone, probably, and tried running an errand brain dead. I bet even now she is thinking of getting it done, even while no pony is in town.
Pinkie's head continued to tilt, now almost upside down as she got more confused.
But the blood!
Probably ketchup from the Hayburger I got her before I left, so she didn't starve or something. Again, she's an idiot while researching without me.
Rainbow then smiled as she reached back and gently petted Twilight.
Of course, she's my idiot, but that's beside the point.
Pinkie nodded a few more times before falling over. Rainbow almost stood up at the sight, but stopped as she heard the party mare breathe out a long sigh.
You okay? I have a lot I need to do now. And I thought I had a lot while trying to do an evacuation in an hour.
Pinkie groaned as she put her head into her hooves.
They're gonna be mad!
Rainbow patted Pinkie's shoulder before grinning at her.
Well, I could use some rest myself. And, well, I don't think Twilight's going anywhere soon. And I don't really want to be seen like this.
Just to seemingly empathize why, Twilight climbed up higher onto Rainbow Dash and began gnawing at more hair as the Pegasus was giving a sleepy hug.
So, especially with that groan of yours, wanna copy this zombie and sleep like the dead?
Pinkie giggled, but instead of snuggling against the two mares, she jumped back into the bushes to fall asleep. Rainbow smiled at the gesture and silently thanked the other mare as she turned to her beloved and nuzzled Twilight's muzzle. Looking at those shut eyes and the twitching hooves, she couldn't help but feel warm inside.
I should leave you to yourself more often. You're way too cute when I come back.
The only response Twilight gave was a small moan as she continued to munch on Rainbow's mane and smiled. Rainbow Dash was played by Aquee. Pinkie Pie was played by piyo. The narrator was Deathlight. Hello everyone. I had this one in the works for a while, as you can tell by how it sounds. My narration has changed dramatically from when I started to how I am now, so yeah, this one was completed about a month ago, but I was not able to post it because I had so many other projects I was working on at the time. So here it is now. Other than that, I'd just like to give a big thank you to you two lovely people that helped me with this. Piyo and Aquee. I hope I pronounced your names right. I really do hope so. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But anyways, I would love to do another casting call again sometime. In fact, I already do have one, but nobody's been wanted to play any parts except for one person, which is a little bit depressing, but it was a lot of fun working with those two. So, yeah, I guess with that, I'll say goodbye.